On this week's episode of the All About Hennessey show, we get ready for school with Hennessey School Superintendent Jason Sternberger. We meet Joshua Faulkner, the new high school principal. We hang out with Bob Calvert, owner of DK Recycling, and Ramon from TravelOKcom gives us a visit. All this and more on this episode of the All About Hennessey show. This show made possible in part by Community State Bank, small town banking the way it should be, and Northcutt Toyota. Let Northcutt be your shortcut to a great deal. Jason, school starts tomorrow.
Can you believe it's already here?
My gosh. So, now how long have you actually been here? Has it been 2 months?
I think May 24th was my official first day.
Right.
So, yes.
Okay.
A little over 2 months, yeah.
Well, you got it
Been
by the
fast and
reins, and we're
furious.
going, and yeah.
We're going,
It's
yeah.
kind of ready or not by this point.
I don't know how well I'm holding the reins right now, but yeah, at this point in time. But yeah, we're going. We're moving forward.
Okay, so the number one question people are asking me
Absolutely.
is, what is COVID going to do to
What
us
does it look
this
like
year?
this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, what does it look like? So, we picked up kind of where we left off last April, I think, when they eased all the restrictions, they being Hennessey schools, and a lot of other schools did too. Went to mask optional. We're still going to continue with the additional cleaning that we've done on buses and the classrooms and things like that. As far as masks, there was a mandate, a law passed that schools, we don't have the option to require masks to be worn unless we are in a state of emergency. The governor's so far to date stood his ground that he's not planning on declaring any county a state of emergency in the foreseeable future. So, he's going to continue to monitor numbers. But at this point in time, we're not requiring masks. If somebody is comfortable wearing one, I mean that's completely up to you. That just like it was in pre-COVID days, when the flu was here, and there was times that in December when flu cases got high, every now and then you'd have teachers and students. So I mean they're welcome to wear masks.
Well, everybody got so used to wearing them now, where you might be
Yeah,
uncomfortable not wearing one.
Yeah,
so.
and there are, and so we're not encouraging and we're not discouraging. I mean that's just an individual's choice. Contact tracing is going to look a lot different this year. Last year it was that 6 feet rule. I mentioned it on the last show, but they've narrowed it down to 3 foot. So we're going to try to space things out inside the classroom when possible.
Do we still need like dividers between desks?
No, we're not. We're not doing that. No, like I told the teachers today, if you have a special request, because everybody has different medical needs and different beliefs on this, so we'll try to accommodate their needs that they have. Maybe one of them wants a shield in front of it. Whatever. We'll try to take their safety into mind, and individual students, if parents have a special request, try to help them out as much as possible. Besides the other part of the contact tracing, I mentioned it, was the, if a student is wearing a mask, they would never be contact traced if exposed to somebody with COVID, and then also if a student has had the vaccine. And to answer one question that came up today, I had a parent call and said that he had heard that we were requiring vaccines of students, and that's not the case. So just some misinformation that got out there.
You were offering them.
We just offered it.
But
yeah,
it
DHS,
wasn't mandatory.
That's correct. DHS called, asked if we could offer it at one of the sites, and so once again, we didn't, not necessarily encouraging or discouraging. There's a wide range of beliefs on both sides, and we were just making it available for those that felt like they wanted to have the vaccine, and so we just did it at school. And we also had physicals that day as well.
Good.
So.
Okay. So last year, at the close of school, there was that horrible flood that kind of messed up the high school and things like that. And it was like, welcome to Hennessey, here's a flood for you to deal with.
Yeah, luckily Dr. Woods finished
that
up
was
on
his
this.
little
that
project.
was his
Yes.
project that he did finish up for me to allow me to do some other things.
So
yeah.
is the high school back to 100%? Or are we still down 2 rooms? Or
Okay, so that was 10 classrooms, and then the hallway, from the east that went to the west, and then back into the cafeteria. And so the hallways and the 10 classrooms, the hallways got the vinyl, and then the classrooms got the carpet, and they look tremendous. There is a portion that had a shipping issue with some of the tile. So the cafeteria right now is just down to the bare concrete. That is actually supposed to start, they'll be done with that tonight. Actually, yeah, they're supposed
Last minute tonight.
Yeah. They're
Hope the
supposed
glue's dry.
Exactly. Well, that's what they said in the hallways in the classrooms, is that it would be done on Sunday night. And I said, I've got teachers coming in Monday, and they got it done Sunday night. So they're telling me, we'll have this done Wednesday night. Now there is an area right at the entry of the high school that they didn't have enough tile in at this point in time, so it is different colored. It's tiled, but we'll have to get that at a later date, along with the annex, and so that little area off the cafeteria.
And then now, how about there was some things that needed to be tidied up at the grade school, like cove moldings and things like that, or is that? So was that already taken care of?
That was already taken care of.
Okay,
yeah.
So the grade school's done.
Grade school's done, yes.
Now, how about the two most damaged rooms in the high school? Those two on the northeast corner.
Yeah, they're in good.
They're all back.
They're on back shape. We got some tiles to
Wow,
replace, but
okay.
everything is in good shape.
Very
Good
cool.
working order. Yeah.
Okay, 'cause-
Yeah, they've done a good job, and we've drawn it out to the last second.
Wow.
But,
Okay. Well, I thought those were probably going to be still out a little
Yeah,
bit.
no, I mean, I went in them today, and they have carpet in them, and we're good to go. I know it.
Wow. Back to
I wouldn't have
100%.
guessed it either.
Yeah, that needed heat.
And it really looks good. They went with a different color scheme, went with a little grayer in the hallways, and then kind of combination black gray in the classrooms with the carpet. I mean, it really dresses it up, so it looks really nice.
Now, notice you cut a hole in the fence of the football field.
Yes.
And poured some concrete.
Yeah, doing some over on the entry on the visitor side. The visitors would walk on that east side of the field house, and there's
Past
the
the
dumpster,
dumpsters.
and past the dumpsters, and past the the skids, and so it was just an area that didn't look real good, wasn't inviting, and so moved that to the west side of the field house, had a hole cut in it, ran an ADA compliant sidewalk across that, and try to get the visitors coming in from there. So we going to put a gate in, probably put an arch and a light, and
Nice.
dress it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And we've got new signs over there.
Move the ticket booth over there.
Move the ticket booth over there. That's right. And we've got new signs. Just through time and sun and everything, it fades. So we've got some new signs out there that showcase our 2010, 2011 state championship teams. And we painted the concession stand, and it was the concrete. And so.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I
so we
didn't think
painted it
of
blue
that.
and white, and it looks
Okay.
good. We painted the top of the baseball canopy that had rust, just quite a bit of rust on it, and just little things that just kind of catch your eye. We got some softball dugouts that they couldn't get to them in time to start the season, but we've got it scheduled that just as soon as softball is over, that we're going to get them a couple of cinder block dugouts. And
Like the one on the baseball side.
so they won't be quite like that. Those have locker rooms in them, and we're not at that point at this, But right now, if we can at least get the cinder block dugouts, and then next phase is, we want to get some canopy around some grandstands, and
Nice.
and eventually get some locker rooms. The girls deserve it. They've got a good program going on right there, and if our kids, if it's good enough to have, then let's just give our kids the best.
Good attitude.
And then the last thing on there, the track, of course, last time we talked about it, we had a geotech report. We've got that back. We've given that to a couple of the companies that, are really the leaders in the industry, and they're going through a scope of work where they can give us an estimate. Hopefully in a couple of weeks, I should be able to take something to the board and try to figure out what this is going to cost
It'd be
exactly.
nice to be able to actually use that.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like 7 or 8 years old, and we've
12.
never really done 12.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then now you've got some good news on your accreditation.
Yeah. So the accreditation, the regional accreditation officer of the State Department will come in, and they will go through, and they go through the paperwork that all your principals, and so it's hats off to the previous year's administration. Of course, Miss Mack and Miss Crosswhite are back, but to Dr. Woods and Miss Avila, who left, that all high school, middle school, elementary, both elementaries all had accreditation with no deficiencies. So that's a tribute to them and the teachers for the hard work they do.
Very good. Congratulations. You're off to a good start.
We are off to a good start. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's
excited.
Hold on to your hat tomorrow. We'll
Yeah,
see
we'll
what
see
happens.
what enrollment does. Last year, I think we lost about 4% of the kids who were not enrolled face to face. They went virtual.
So I've heard mixed stories on that too. So
Okay.
is the school offering any remote learning this year, or
We're not just giving students the option to come in like last year. Last year, it was I think every school district had to do that just because it was new to all of us. And, very few kids can learn in a remote setting and keep up with things. The ARM model at Hennessey And the reason our teachers got into this is to teach kids face to face, and that's what we want to do. So we have certain situations if there's a true medical necessity, maybe with a student or somebody at the house that they just can't risk it, if students on an IEP. So we've got a few, but we're just not offering carte blanche to where any kid can just say, I want to go full-time virtual or full-time.
It's easier for the ones that truly need it now. You have all the technology and everybody knows how to do it, but it's not going to be offered. So
right.
Good.
Yeah. Now if a kid, if a kid is sick, whether it's COVID or anything else, and then we know it's going to be long-term, we can still we're set up to send lessons. We can send them virtually. We'll still provide an education depending on how long that child will be out of school,
Sure.
and virtual is one of the methods we can use if we have to.
Good. All right. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we meet with Joshua Faulkner, the brand new Hennessey High School principal. This show made possible in part by Pioneer. GoPioneer.com. And I have a brand new Hennessey High School principal, Joshua, also known as Josh Faulkner.
That's right, yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Jack.
This is very, very cool. Josh is from, or you call Boise City your home,
That's right.
but you
I call-
graduated from where?
From Hooker, Oklahoma.
Okay.
So I was just there my senior year of high school. So up until that point, I was in Boise City. So I consider Boise City more my hometown. Mm-hmm. But
And your family was, your parents were teachers, so you moved around a lot?
yeah, teachers and administrators. My mom's been a school counselor, was a choir director, actually retired as a choir director just a couple years ago. My dad was a band director, then became an administrator.
There's a lot of music in your family.
Lots of music in my family. My dad just retired this year, actually, as the superintendent, and he's going to be 74 in August. So he's been in education a very long time.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. You got big shoes to fill.
That's
Yes.
absolutely right.
And then now you went to Northwestern to get your degrees?
I did, yes.
Yep,
Both
in Alva?
bachelor's and master's in Alva.
Yep.
Mhm.
But it was for music.
It was. My bachelor's was in music, and I originally went to do instrumental and vocal together, and actually graduated with a vocal music degree, but I've only ever taught instrumental music, which is kind of interesting.
That's fun. So you you didn't teach at Northwestern?
I
just
did not.
studied at Great Northwestern?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I remember spending some time up there. You had a legendary music teacher. I guess is he still there?
Dr. Needler?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's not there anymore. I can't remember. It was while I was there that he left, though.
Okay.
So.
Okay, but
yeah.
he had been there a long time.
And yes,
was
and he's definitely
kind of
legendary.
famous in the music world.
Yes.
And very cool. And then you met your wife at school.
I did. I met my wife in choir. She's actually the choir director here now.
Yep.
But, met her in choir at Northwestern and band. We both did music together there, and so yeah, here we are, 2 kids. and-
So our high school principal is a music guy, so we're going to have some arts going on.
yeah, and Mr. Ray, the band director, has actually asked me to come and work with the kids some, and even maybe to go play with them at football games, which I'm excited about.
So what do you
'cause
play?
I'm a drummer by trade. I can play everything, but I prefer drums and either that or low brass. That's kind of where.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very fun. All right. And then before you came here, where were you? What were you doing?
I was in Newkirk, Oklahoma. My wife and I both were. I was their band director. She was the choir director, and we have been there. That was actually where we started our teaching careers until we came here.
Oh,
So
very cool. And your wife we're going to visit with her next week, but she took the place of Beth Birkenbeil,
that's right.
our longtime vocal music director.
Yeah, and she's known Beth for a very long time, and they get along really.
Well, I didn't know
really
there was a well. I guess if you're doing tournaments or whatever they're called, you get
competitions.
To know. Yeah.
Well, and her teacher in high school was Ramona Cummings in Alva, and so her and Ramona are very good friends. So, but yeah, no, they've known each other for quite a while.
So now your high school. When we closed out school last year, it was with a horrible flood mess, wrecked the building
Yeah.
kind of thing. There were 2 rooms that were just closed because they were so bad. So what's the status of the high school now?
Actually, as of, I believe, yesterday, the flooring has been redone in all those classrooms. They're ready for kids again. The flooring in the halls is mostly done. Well, in the halls, it's all done. But they're going to be redoing the cafeteria floor, I believe, Wednesday night is what they told us. So up until the last minute, right before we have
the glue's
kids. So.
dry, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, nothing like the last minute.
Yeah,
Well, I knew
seriously.
that Dr. Woods had inherited that project, and it was kind of up to him to get that thing done. So I
Yeah,
guess
well,
he,
there are going to be a few areas where the floor is a little mismatched, but we're going to get it all completely taken care
it
of.
was just a matter of getting it done so we could get kids in. So
Exactly.
the high school is going to be at 100% again this year.
Yeah, should be.
No,
All of the rooms are going to be able to be used and all of that. So everything should be good there.
and we talked to Jason Sternberger about the COVID thing. It's really almost non-existent except for some isolation things if you get tested positive. And
Yeah, I mean, and that's more his deal anyways than mine, of course. That's all subject to change depending on how things play
it'll just
out.
be
but-
up to you to enforce it. It's-
Exactly. He tells me what to do and I enforce it. But hopefully things can at least get somewhat back to normal. So
That's encouraging. Yeah. And then you were saying that the school district is not offering any
a virtual route.
virtual
That's
stuff.
right. Yeah, we're it's going to be on a case by case basis, and it's more if there's a medical need for that or something, and that's kind of determined by the principals and Mr. Sternberger, and if they meet that criteria, then we'll offer it. But it's going to be to a chosen few, if
Very
any.
select.
So far, I don't think we are doing any, but I could be wrong about that in the different buildings, but in our building so far, there's been none. The best place for kids to be is in a classroom with a teacher that can teach them. And so that's kind of what we're trying to get back to, is that traditional.
Good. Well, Hennessey was different anyway. I mean, we never closed. Well, I guess we closed the last part of last year, but
Yeah.
we never, after that, I don't think we ever closed because of COVID.
Yeah.
We had people out and we did some strange things, but we never really shut down. So when the state superintendent asks for your reopening plan, it was like we never closed.
Yeah, yeah, and some some other schools have experienced that, but I know that where I came from, we closed really briefly, but we closed because of COVID, and I think like I said, that's a whole mess. It depends on how things play out, and we're hoping that we can just get back to normal.
Take it as it comes and hope that we do normal again.
Yes.
Very, very cool. So you were saying earlier that there are no real major changes. You're not like coming in and changing everything.
No,
It's-
just trying to make sure that we are enforcing things and that policies are being followed, and that's going to be the big thing. So, nothing super new other than
nothing
no virtual route.
earth-shattering
Or,
and
yeah,
good. Well, I hope everyone gets to meet you properly without being called into your office.
that's what I
Yes,
hope.
meet them in the hallway, not in getting called into the
Yeah,
office. And
yeah, I hope so too. I've heard we've got some really good kids here though, so I'm really excited to get started. So
Very, very good.
yeah.
Joshua, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Yeah,
And,
thanks for having me.
We'll have you on every now and then whenever you get something exciting to let people know about. And, great.
Sounds
Thanks.
good. Thank you.
Don't go away. Next, we hang out with Bob Calvert, owner of DK Recycling, and learn how to turn your junk into cash. Be sure to click the subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to be sure you never miss an episode of the All About Hennessey Show. Hi, Bob.
Hey, Jack.
Today, very special guest, Bob Tiger Calvert. Should we say how you got the name Tiger?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
When I was born in 81, I was 3 months premature. So I come out all bruised and striped. So my dad said I looked like a tiger cub fighting for his life, and it stuck.
That's pretty cool. That's not the story I heard, but that's a good one. We'll leave the other one alone. That's why I was questioning. Never mind. If you ever see Bob, ask him about the other reason. I think that came later in life.
Yeah.
Bob, you and your wife own DK Recycling.
Yes, sir.
What in the world is DK Recycling?
DK Recycling is a metal recycling business here south of town. And we take all kinds of metals, aluminum, copper, brass, cars, oil field equipment, farming equipment, just anything metal. If I don't know what it is, we'll find out for you and get a price on it.
Now, you do a lot with, now you're a Freemason and a Shriner.
Yes, sir.
And you do a lot in cooperation with them. Like, I understand, like, tell us about the aluminum can things you're doing.
We do, the Freemasons do a joint venture with the Hennessey FFA on a can drive. There's a little cage set up by the FFA building where you can drop off cans, and they'll load those up. The Freemasons will go with a trailer and help load them with the kids, and they bring them down to DK Recycling. I weigh them, and normally I got a margin on price, and I'll give them, say it was a quarter a pound. Well, I might be making 30 cents, which isn't much, but so if the market's 30 cents, I will give the actual school that much.
So you're not making anything on it. You're
No.
giving them the whole.
We'll give that donation. Then the Masons will turn around and match those funds and give it to the school, the FFA chapter.
That's pretty cool. And
Yes,
they'll
sir.
also take just your cans.
Yeah.
If you have a box of cans, you can take them down there and get.
I will say, please make sure to keep your steel food cans in a separate bag. They are worth something, but they're not worth what aluminum cans
Really?
are, and people will try to mix them. And also your cat food cans that are aluminum, keep them separate. They're a different type of aluminum, so they're not.
Really?
Worth as
Some kind of
much.
crazy alloy, something. Wow. Okay. And now you're from Guthrie.
Yes, sir.
How did you end up in Hennessey, Oklahoma?
Well, my aunt was dating a guy that his parents lived over here, so
Going deep now.
we came over one weekend to hang out. And by the end of the weekend, I met a friend, and he offered me a job, and I didn't have one at the time, so I accepted it, and I went to work at Stewart Seed Company.
Yep.
And that's how haven't left since.
And then, but now, how did you end up over at the recycling place? Because you worked there before you owned it.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, shortly, I can't remember how long I stayed with Stewart. It was a year or more. And I went to work for Jenny's father as a cattle ranching, looking after cattle with him for a year. And then I got on at Liamco Ruthco, which is called Weatherford Artificial Lift Systems. And I worked there for just a little over 2 years. And I left there and went back to the seed company for a short spell.
Difficult to be employed.
Yeah.
That's why he's an independent businessman now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So we left there, and I ended up moving back to Guthrie for a short stint, and I got a job in remodeling houses for a painter in the city. And so that was pretty neat. Well, then me and Jenny got married. So she was supposed to move to Guthrie with me, had a place. And
Jenny's
everything.
back there. Say hi. You want to come say
And-
hi? No, she's hiding behind the camera.
We spent one day in Guthrie after we were married, and when I woke up to go to work, and she was like, "I'm going with you," I'm like, "You can't go to work with me." So I called back home here and told her father we have to come home. So he said, "Pack it up and get here. There's a spot for you." So we
Really?
moved
So he
back
gave
to-
you a job.
Well, he didn't have nothing, so I went to work actually at. Then it was called Eckroats. It's called J. Lee Co. now.
Yeah. Yep.
The other seed
other side of
company.
the track there. Yep.
My father-in-law called me, said, "I need you to come talk to me." And he said, "I need you to come go to work for me." And he paid me pretty well, so.
Now, is this when he had already built the,
Yes.
the
He-
thing on the highway?
He
The-
started the
yard?
business on the Highway 81 down here south of town in 2010. When I came on board, it was 2012. The market was skyrocketing. What we didn't know was the reason he wanted me to come on was he was sick and he hadn't told nobody yet. And so shortly after I came on, he got diagnosed with cancer. So he had a battle with cancer for 6-8 months, got it in remission, was in remission for 4.5 years, and then he got it again. So he fought it one more time, got through that bout, and then when he got it the third time is when he couldn't just fight no more. So anyways, he brought me on. What we didn't know was he wanted somebody to come in
He was
to
looking
run
for
it.
a mentor. Yeah.
Yeah, looking
Wow.
for somebody to take over and carry it on. So in 2014, He was actually partnered with Gene Richardson at the time. He had passed, and so Dale bought out Gene's share of the business, moved it off of Main Street, bought the land at the old Conoco plant.
Yep. Just west on Conoco Road off the highway.
Yep.
Yep.
He bought that and moved everything over there. That was a big ordeal, trying to move everything, get that other place clean up like it should. It's a big deal. So that was 14. I still managed the office and everything all the way up till 2019. He come to me, it was July, and one day he's sick, and he comes to me and says, why don't you buy this thing? And he'd get upset about things breaking. He'd say that from time to time. So
You didn't take him seriously.
so
or
I
not.
didn't take him. I said, whatever, blew him off, went back in, doing my job. He comes back around noontime. I go out to see what he wants, and he says it again. So I still blow him off because I'm like, you're just
This is
upset.
the same day?
The same day.
Oh, boy. It's getting serious now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So about 3:30, he pulls in. I go out to see what he needs, and he says it again. So I go in the office, get my phone. I call Jenny. I said, look, your dad's really wanting to sell. He's serious. I said, what do you think? And she said, all we can do is see what the bank says. I said, okay, sounds good to me. So I went out and told him. Well, we had planned. This was it might have been early June or late June, because July 4th we left and went to Galveston and found a little mini vacation. On our way back, we're in Enos, Texas at a Buc-ee's, and I get my phone ring. He says, Dale. And he said, when you get back, I got some papers for you to sign. I said, okay.
He wasn't wasting any time.
I said, what are you talking about? He said, I'll tell you when you get home. So, of course, probably a 6-hour drive home. We're worried about what papers we got to sign.
Oh, no.
So we get home and go in there, and he had went and talked to the banker, and the banker thought it was doable, so we went and signed the papers and bought the business from him. As of August 1st of 2019, we were the proud owners of DK Recycling.
Wow. Jeez. It's a sad, but now, it's still in the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Very cool. Now, I understand that you can take your metal appliances and things to the town dump and pay them to take it, or they can take it to you and you'll pay them to take it.
Right.
Do the second one. Yes. Because the town has to then call him to come and get it and haul it over to his yard. And
Right.
now your hours aren't, the town dump's kind of like hardly never open anyway, but at least you're open every day just till 4 o'clock, though. 4:30.
Yeah.
So it's a little inconvenient, but you can actually make some money by dragging that old car or refrigerator or whatever over there, and they'll actually give you cash for it. It's kind of a cool deal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then now you're not quite doing it yet, but you're kind of working on being able to pick up stuff.
Yes, since we bought the business, I've been working on buying smaller machines because it's hard to do manpower to go out to pick stuff up, and it's hard on people. You don't want to get somebody hurt lifting stuff. So right now we actually bought 2 excavators that are small enough to haul with regular pickups, and we're in the process of buying a trailer that'll actually hold them weight-wise, so we can go out to do cleanup jobs.
That's very cool. Because I know that's inconvenient where people might have a pile of something and it's too heavy to load up, or they just aren't capable of it. It'll be a neat service to just come out and get it. And
Yes, sir.
very, very cool. Awesome. And then now you have how many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids.
Okay. And we met Bob the Third the other night. He's a character.
Yeah,
He was one of the 12U baseball players that went to state.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank
Very,
you.
very cool. And they are Faith, Laura, and Bob.
Yes, sir.
And what kind of what are we ages here?
Faith is 20, Laura is 16, and Bob is 12.
Okay, I wouldn't have got that you had a 20-year-old.
You want the story? Don't
No, I
you?
don't want. No, leave that. We'll go there.
It's not
What?
a bad story. We adopted her when she was 8.
Oh, all right. So tell us a story. They can't hear you back there, so either come in and tell us a story, or Bob will tell the story.
Faith, we adopted her when she was 8 years old. We just had Bob, and she was living with Jenny's grandparents, and she wanted to come live with us, so we took her,
Wow.
and
Very, very cool.
that's
Huh.
how that happened.
Okay.
We went from one kid to a month later having 3, so it was really, really fun.
Guys, don't waste any time.
No,
All right. Okay. Did I forget anything?
not that I know of.
17130 East 640 Road, or easier Conoco Road. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30. You can give them a call. We'll put the phone number down here. Go check them out, because I know that all of us have like an appliance or something out behind the shed that we need to get rid of, and that stuff's worth money, so throw it in the car and take it over there, and you'll unload, right? You'll help
Yes,
them
sir.
get it out of the car.
We have machines for bigger loads, and then if it's something small, the guys will get it out for you and not tear up your stuff.
Very, very cool. If you can get it in the car, they'll get it out. Awesome. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Jack.
All right, don't go away. When we come back, Ramon from TravelOK.com stops by and gives us travel tips in Oklahoma. This show made possible in part by Cherie Hicks, State Farm. Auto, home, property, business, life, and health. I have Ramon please help me.
Renteria.
Renteria. Well, it's easier when you say it. Yes.
I guess. Well, I've had about 40 years of practice.
Ramon is actually from Hennessey.
I am.
But you are with the Oklahoma Department of Tourism.
Absolutely. Oklahoma Department of Tourism that takes care of all your tourism needs for your town or in the state.
We had a lot to talk about, but I wanted to let folks know that Ramon grew up here in Hennessey.
I did.
And graduated here. What year did you graduate?
1996.
Good year.
Which, by the way, Jack thought I graduated in the 70s.
Yeah,
just so you guys
sorry.
know.
It's the
I blame my mom for this.
You look older and more mature.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah,
We'll go with that.
yeah.
Okay. And then you went to school. Where'd you go to school?
UCO.
Okay.
UCO. Broncos.
And
Edmond.
very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And you're actually related to one of our staff, Mariana Gonzalez.
I am. She's
Yes.
my niece. Beautiful. Beautiful girl.
Very, very cool. We're very proud of her. She just got into nursing school, and
Yeah.
she's climbing up the ladder.
Yeah, she's a go-getter for sure.
Yes. Now, we had a lot to talk about here today, but we wanted to talk about how a Hennessey business can grow. And you have this sheet you gave me here. We'll put this up so you can see it.
Okay.
And it's how to get your business listed on TravelOK.com.
Absolutely. So basically what we're going to talk about, if you're a local business, is how to utilize TravelOK.com to your advantage, especially for free. Okay. It doesn't cost to have your listing on there. And that listing would help you either with phone calls or emails or someone coming to visit your location. TravelOK.com has been the #1 tourism website 5 years running with about 6.6 million visits per year.
Wow. So
That's a lot.
significant number.
It is a significant number.
And you were talking about that if you own a business, that you may already have a listing and not know it, but it's one that you guys just made.
Exactly, for them. So visitors like us know, hey, there's that business. But if you don't have access or control of it, I'm here to help you on how to get access and control of it. Why? Because you can add more pictures to it. It might just have 3 or 4 pictures. More pictures. Make sure your email's correct. Make sure your website's correct. Make sure the hours, the
hours
time
of operation.
Yeah, absolutely. With everything going on, hours change now. So we'll grant you access, and you'll have a username and password to get in.
So it's kind of like your own little website
Yes.
on the big website.
It is. It is. So it's and the best part about it, it's free for you. So let's utilize this.
That is very, very cool.
So
So they go to TravelOK.com, and where do they find where do they look for their listing?
there's a
or
search
how
bar.
do they create
There's
their...
a search bar. How do they create it? So there's a link that I would send them.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if it's not created yet, there's a link that I would send them. I'm sure my email would be
Yes.
at the bottom. Send me an email and I'll take care of it. Now, if there is a listing there already, and either you lost your password, you've never had one, Then we'll go the next step, which Adam would be the person to help you. He'll send you a how to reset that, and then you'll be good to go.
Very, very cool. Valuable resource. You need to really, really look into that.
Yep.
Now, TravelOK has this enormous pile of publications that are available, and this is the one I thought was the coolest. Was this the official Route 66 passport?
No, a bunch of them are very popular, but this has probably been one or number one because of the pandemic.
Yep.
People were not traveling outside the state, so they got to really know our state a little bit more. You know, you hear people, oh, there's nothing to do in Oklahoma. Well, we were discussing this.
Yeah.
There's plenty to do in Oklahoma, folks, and this is one of them. So the Route 66 passport is a passport that is free. You can actually order it from TravelOKcom, just like everything else that we have here. And it has 66 locations, attractions, restaurants to visit throughout Route 66. The coolest thing about it is that after you finish it, you'll get a big old magnet from it and then a commemorative coin.
So
from
every
Route
time you
66.
stop to see something, there's a place to get a stamp.
And it'll be their name and their logo on that stamp.
So
that's
it's
pretty
like
cool.
an actual passport when you travel around.
Yeah,
You
so-
get a stamp. Yep.
A lot of people don't know. So Oklahoma has the most drivable miles on Route 66, which is 400 plus miles. And it's really cool seeing, you know, the antique stores, your boutiques, your Jack. I didn't get like this by my wife's cooking.
He
She
likes
doesn't
to
cook
eat.
much. I'm telling you, I got like this visiting places, you know, restaurants on the Route 66, and not just that. On the dining guide, we have a guide which we're actually printing the new one first of the year. So if anyone wants to be, you know, featured and advertised here, you can contact me for that as well. But this is very popular. It's the Discover Oklahoma Destination Dining Guide, and it has all kinds of great places. I mean, just look at that chicken fried steak.
Oh, the kid. Well, look at
Yeah.
the kid's expression. Yeah, the chicken fried steak is bigger than him. This is great.
And that's at Noble, I believe. So it's, you know, there are actual places, and we're not making them up. So you get to know your state, get to know your food.
But then you also have, I know I have gotten the big guide before. This is the whole, like the state, everything to do
Or
in the
travel
state.
guide.
And it's amazing, but it's a little overwhelming. So there are smaller guides for
For your niche.
niche. So
Yeah.
motorcycle guide, anything you could do with a motorcycle in Oklahoma.
Absolutely. It has a guide. It has stops. It has where to eat, where to, you know, pump gas.
Motorcycle friendly
all
places.
throughout the state, yes.
And then fishing, Oklahoma fishing guide if you're an angler, I guess that's what they call them. And then outdoor guide.
The outdoor guide, that's
What's
parks.
that all about? Oh, that's
It's-
parks.
Yeah,
Okay.
for our state parks. Like I was telling you about, I spent the weekend at Quartz, and it's beautiful. Well,
They've
that's
just
in here.
Put a lot of work into that.
They
haven't
put a lot of money in it, and I encourage every single one of you to visit Quartz. It's not too far from here, about 2 hours or so. It's a beautiful place. We actually didn't, throughout the weekend, we didn't get to see everything that it has to offer.
Really, in a weekend?
Yep.
I didn't
Yeah,
realize it was that
There's
big.
a little bit of everything. There's a little bit of everything to do. This one's new as well.
The fall foliage guide. This is pretty cool. So
It is.
What's neat about it is you don't have to guess. It actually gives you the sort of the dates when the foliage would be
Like
at
when
the
the leaves
peak
are turning
in those
color.
areas.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's you know, if you want to take a selfie, group picture, family pictures, this will be probably something that you would want to pick up and see when the leaves are turning.
That is pretty cool.
Yep.
And then Indian
The
country.
Indian Country Guide.
They have an
It talks about
enormous Indian tourism.
absolutely, and it talks about
thing in
all our
Oklahoma.
tribes, famous people from those tribes. It's a really neat thing. If you feel it, it's
It's got a texture to it.
the quality of our guides are just, you know, I know Haley and Jennifer and
Buffalo
everyone,
has fur on it.
they do an amazing work for it.
Wow. Spot color. Good.
It is.
Very, very cool.
Yes.
And then the official Route 66 guide.
The Route 66 guide.
This is a big deal internationally, even.
It is. So it's very popular in other countries, and also Spanish-speaking countries, which I'm pretty proud that the first guide or any of our guides to be translated to any language was Spanish, and was this the Route 66 guide, just because how popular. So I ran into some motorcyclists in Tulsa, about 15 of them from Mexico City.
Really?
They say they fly to LA, rent the motorcycles, and drive through Route 66 in 10 days. So I'm pretty pretty proud of this, but also like to brag. My kids are in it, so if you see my kids on there,
Well, that's right. They're in that
yeah.
Route 66 sign.
yeah,
but
they're on.
Do you know where they are?
Yeah,
We got to show off
should-
the kids here.
we
Hold
have
on.
to show off my kids, or what kind of dad am I if I don't? Right? So
There they
there
are.
they are, right here on El Reno, Oklahoma. So
Yep.
it's the Route 66.
And there's a lot of photo ops. But you were saying who is it that has the leg lamp?
Chickasha.
Chickasha has the leg
Yeah,
lamp.
the leg lamp for
like
Christmas.
The Fragile Christmas leg lamp. And-
You're a fan.
Yep. Oh yeah, big time.
you're a
And then there were some other items like there used to be the big blue,
Well,
the big whale. Is that still around?
yeah, it's still in Catoosa, Oklahoma.
Yep. And the round barn.
Yes, the
and-
Round Barn, and then the Outsiders House Museum. There's a bunch of museums, though, like the Interpretive Museum in Chandler, Oklahoma. If you go with your family, basically the museum talks to you, and you get to sit and kind of experience what things were back in the day.
Really?
Right, yeah. The Woody Guthrie Museum has a 3D, not a video game, but kind of like you put your lens on and you see what things were back in the day as well. And it's very realistic.
And what's the one on the state line near I-40? It's the old gas station that was in the movie Cars.
Oh, the Rock Cafe?
Yes.
So the Rock Cafe is pretty cool. So a lot of people, things you learn, right, while trying to get to know your state. So the Rock Cafe was one of the movie producers from Cars stopped there and was there for 2 weeks in Stroud, Oklahoma. Well, a lot of people don't know that the Porsche, Sally, is based out of the owner of that cafe, which her name is Dawn.
All these great
Pretty
stories.
cool. You Wikipedia it and it says, based out of Dawn from the Rock Cafe. You have original drawings from Cars, and then the movie Monsters Inc. are in that wall. Years and years ago, which by the way, I think they're
That is
trying to make another one. for
Fun.
Cars.
Yes, I believe that
Yeah.
there's one in the works.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's really cool. One thing that I do want to mention: everything here, it's
yes.
free. So if you go to TravelOK.com and want to order any of these guides, they're free. They'll be shipped to
And
your
I think
house free.
some of this stuff is available at our library.
The library,
the Hennessey Library
yes,
has some of it.
The travel centers, most chambers do have them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So but again, if you don't find them there, please visit TravelOK.com. Also, another thing that I like to mention is our event calendar in TravelOK.com.
Oh, that's pretty cool. We rely on that. We actually feed material to that. So-
Absolutely. So if you're, you got a weekend coming up before the kids go back to school, or after the kids went back to school, you want to have a weekend somewhere, you go to the event calendar, and it tells you what's happening all over the state of Oklahoma.
TravelOK.com calendar.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. I do have something else to mention. So if we have a local business that wants to be featured in Discover Oklahoma or Oklahoma Today magazine, email me again, and I'll send you the info on how to keep
Reach out
in
to the
touch.
producers
Absolutely,
and see
yes.
what we can do. Now, just up the road in December is a huge international event, and it's the world's largest fresh cut Christmas tree.
Yes.
And Kyle Williams is bringing that to Enid with a lot of help, and it's a 140-foot tall Christmas tree, which is 3 times taller than the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree in New York.
I mean, can you just imagine?
Yep.
I mean, as of today, when you watch this show, start making plans
Yeah.
to visit.
It is going to be
tree.
big. There are fireworks. There's a 45-day event with concerts and things, and we produced a package. Here, just watch the package.
Today is a really big day for all of us. It's a stepping stone towards something that we believe will become an annual Christmas event here in Enid. Today, the event we are unveiling is a collaboration with our executive committee, our churches in our community leaders and service organizations, the city of Enid, friends and businesses. Today, we're excited to unveil a 42-day event called The One. Our event centerpiece tree will be dedicated Christ tree. It will tower about 10 stories high, which is 140 feet tall. The tree will come from the Shasta National Forest in Northern California. from trees that have already been selected for cutting for lumber. The Christ tree, I believe, will be the tallest fresh cut tree in the United States and in the world in 2021. Christ tree will be lit on Friday, November 26th at Main Street Enid's Enid Lights Up the Plains event. We wanted to emphasize why we celebrate Christmas, the birth of Jesus.
Today they unveiled a great plan called The One that was inspired by Kyle Williams, and what a great vision it is. A great vision for our Christian community and a great vision for our city of Enid. I can't tell you how proud I am every day of what happens in Enid.
I love seeing the fact that my hometown of Enid, Oklahoma is making an investment in itself. And what's neat is the rest of the world is going to finally get to see the core and the heart of our community. Hundreds of thousands of people are going to come through and see what we've got here in Enid and in turn in the great state of Oklahoma.
So make plans. I think it's the day after Thanksgiving in November in Enid. Huge, enormous event. We are doing a documentary on the behind the scenes and making of, so I'm actually traveling to Northern California when they cut the tree. We're going to see them harvest the tree, and they're going to bring it back into Enid on one of those trucks that they carry the wind farm blades on. And we're documenting all of it, about how all this happened. It's taken almost 2 years to make this come together, and it's going to be absolutely amazing.
And the whole thing about it is, it's in Oklahoma, folks.
Yeah, who would have thought that Oklahoma would have the world's largest Christmas tree?
Absolutely, and it's
truly
just
amazing.
up the street from us.
Yep. So where do people find out information?
TravelOKcom. TravelOK.com. There's this little search bar. You can search Enid and everything to do with Enid would search on there. You can search Hennessey, and anything that's happening in Hennessey, it's on there. Or contacts. You'll be on there. Same thing with the restaurants. I mean, if you're looking for a type of restaurant, you go on there, and it gives you all that information.
Fantastic. Ramon, thanks for hanging out with us, and I'm sure he'll be back.
Absolutely.
We'll see you again. Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation.
Be sure to click the subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to be sure you never miss an episode of the All About Hennessey Show. Check out this week's All About Hennessey Post newspaper and subscribe for free at allaboutHennessey.com.